So I'm here with William Wallace, the 2018 senior class orator, for his interview for the school newspaper. So my first question is, Will, what made you decide to basically audition for the position of orator?
Okay, well, originally, it was just sort of like a competition between me and my friend, Ahmed Bukabar.
Mm-hmm.
And, we were sort of just like, we've always been like rivals through like football and stuff like that, but it's not like a angry rivalry. It's more like make each other grow. And originally it just started as that, but then, when I really sat down and thought of like, what is the orator? I think it's important that you have like a good send-off, and I just want to sort of be able to express my feelings to everyone and just, thank them for what they've done for me in the last 4 years.
So then, what was your process? How did you get started in preparing a speech?
Okay, well, a common theme for my entire high school is procrastination. And, just being candid with that, I started my outline or speech, I think 2 days before.
Mrs. Metzger would be so ashamed.
Right. But essentially what I wanted to do was sort of make it personal for me.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the the biggest defining factors for my high school career was football.
Mm-hmm.
And so I related it to that, and I thought of, okay, well, how is high school comparable? And what I came up with was that there are 4 years of high school, and that there are 4 quarters in football, and, teammates, classmates, it's, along the same lines.
So how did you try and relate to your senior class? Because after all, you had to be voted into the position. So how did you try and to relate to your peers in order to get the position?
Okay. Well, what a lot of people did was try to be super, inspirational and serious with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I sort of took it in a different direction where I wanted to be more conversational
Mm-hmm.
and funny. So I had some jokes in there, which a lot of people really didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So really, that's essentially it. I tried to be more personal rather than inspirational.
So then, how did it feel when you got into the TV studio and you were presenting your speech? How did that feel for you?
I had never been in there,
Mm-hmm.
so that was sort of a new experience, but everyone was super helpful with it, and the teleprompter made, all the difference. It was really easy to work with everyone on that, so I actually enjoyed that experience a lot.
Now, was there anything within your time at high school that kind of helped you prepare for this speech and to write it?
Yeah, the class that I took in my senior year, Speech and Comp,
Mm-hmm.
it has definitely prepared me to be a better speaker. And I think that actually the thing that I wanted to focus on in my speech, which was being conversational, has really come out due to Speech and Comp and trying to make it more interesting for the audience.
So then, how are you feeling about graduation day? How are you feeling about giving a speech in front of hundreds of people?
I'm not too nervous. I know my speech,
Mm-hmm.
and I like to think that it's good, so I'm not worried about how people are going to react to it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's gonna every person, no matter what they say, they have nerves when they go
Yeah.
up there. I think there's some sort of quote, paraphrasing that it's a good speaker is not someone who isn't nervous; it's someone that can hide it. So, yeah, I mean, really, it's no different as long as you can just, get into the zone and think of, what you're saying, try to make it as good as possible. You can just sort of block the crowd out.
Okay, so then going back more into your time at Franklin Regional, what is one of your most memorable moments here at Franklin Regional?
Well, for me, again, football was my, biggest thing that
Mm-hmm.
I poured so much time into it. It's 10 months of the year, so obviously, it's going to have a big, lasting impact on you. And for me, the thing that sticks with me the most was our first game of my senior season.
Mm-hmm.
We were huge underdogs, and we were the game of the week, so there was all these local news stations here, taping the game. And in it, we pulled off an upset, scored with 1 second left in the game, and it was just really it was a great experience. It made all of the trials, tribulations throughout the summer and camp all worth it.
So then, outside of football, what are some other hobbies you like to do at the school here?
So originally in my freshman year, I had picked just trying out different clubs. I tried mock trial, and it just was not for me. So I kept looking for different clubs, and HHH through Mr. Boggs and Mr. Jackson. I liked that club a lot. I wasn't involved in it as much this year, just due to other
Responsibilities.
Yeah, responsibilities. But I guess what I've been more involved in with this year, until I got, I hurt my ankle and I couldn't do it, track. And I just want to try. I really like team settings because I like the the bonds that it creates, and I like trying to take a leadership role in them.
Mm-hmm.
So track was like a big thing for me. And yeah, just like NHS, SNHS. I'm the president of that, so I've been involved with that, and I don't know. I just like working with other people.
So then, do you have any hobbies or interests outside of Franklin Regional that you pursuing?
I guess really the only thing that I do, like obviously a lot of people play video games and stuff like that. I can't say that I fell into the Fortnite craze. I never played it, probably never will. But I guess outside of that, sometimes I dabble with the guitar. So I guess that's about that.
And then, has there been a teacher or a faculty member or any person here at Franklin Regional who has really inspired you in your time here?
I would say that there are probably two that most inspired me, and for actually very different reasons. Number one, I would say that a huge inspiration for me in terms of like people to people was Mr. Mack.
Mm-hmm.
When I came into the high school, it's just sort of your mentality that it's me against them. But Mr. Mack actually changed that for me because it opened me up to see that there are teachers that actually care about you and want you to succeed, and he was one of them that like really showed me that. And another teacher that made me like just by being himself inspired me was actually Mr. Landsberg for Euro. I think that he is one of the most intelligent people I've ever met, and just preparing for his class and working through it, I think has made my work ethic a little bit better. It's not perfect, obviously, but I think that it's improved dramatically just to try to cope with that workload. And he's actually made he is one of the teachers that I can say, even on his lecture days, even when it's super information heavy, it is super interesting. And that may come...
I can agree with
that may come with the territory that I like history, but the way he gives the information to us makes me want to learn more rather than just learn what he's giving us.
So then, now you're moving on from Franklin Regional. Where are you going to school, Will?
I'm going to Pitt, Maine.
Now, what made you choose Pitt, Maine?
Well, honestly, it was one of my safety schools.
Okay.
And I applied to it first back in like October or whatever.
Yep.
Got accepted, and immediately work ethic. And that was the only school I applied to. And I got in real early, so I guess that was just sort of where I was. And I'm happy with the school. They have a really good program for what I want to do.
What do you want to do?
I want to go into biological sciences and psychology for a dual major, and then go on a pre-med track.
Okay.
And their pre-med program isn't as strong as other colleges, but their med program is actually like wonderful.
Very good.
Right. So just for me, in what I wanted to do, I thought that it was a good school. I applied to it. I liked the campus, so I figured, hey, don't fix what's not broken, right?
So then, where do you see yourself, like, 10 years down the line from now? Where do you see yourself working? Like, what's your dream career?
My dream career is to go into cardiology, be a cardiologist, and I want to do it so that I can perform the surgeries as well. So in 10 years from now, I should be in residency, if that's
very nice.
If all things work out. That's what I should be doing.
So then, do you feel like Franklin Regional has prepared you for your life at college and your future career that you want to pursue?
I think in certain aspects it has. There are times when you can sort of coast by. And
yeah, I know.
that's no discredit to the school,
Yeah.
but it's just the nature of high school, I think, that you can't always be, nose to the grindstone. With all the other things you're involved with, you got to sort of balance it. But there are classes and times in the year when all you have to do is just set everything else aside and dedicate yourself fully to one task. So I think that it's prepared me for that. And another big thing for Franklin is, learning to cope with differences in people, work in groups, also work independently. So I think that Franklin, there's not another school I would have wanted to go to.
So do you feel like is there anything about Franklin Regional that you'll miss when you head off to college?
Definitely. Big thing for me is sports. I'll miss that. I'm not pursuing any sports in college, maybe clubs or something like that, but I'll miss that. And there are a lot of teachers that I will miss. You build bonds with your teachers throughout the year, and the people. I love everybody from Franklin, and so I'll miss them.
So then, for our upcoming freshmen, who may or may not read the school newspaper, we never know, and for the underclassmen here, do you have any advice on what types of classes or any experiences that you think that they should have before their senior year?
Yeah. For classes, I would say that a big thing is you should actually try to challenge yourself. Nobody likes to, be swamped in work, but if you challenge yourself, you're actually you're gonna get a lot out of it. It builds work ethic, character, but you also find out a lot of information that you may not have been opened up to just because in, let's say, a regular class, you're not going to go as in-depth as an honors class or an AP class. And I just think it's really important to learn as much as you can in high school. And additionally, last thing, I think that you should take high school one day at a time. You don't want to wish it away. You know, everybody says, you know, it goes a lot faster than you expect.
It does.
Which I completely agree. I remember walking in on my first day of freshman year. Yep, walking up for transition day. Yep. I remember thinking, oh my God, this is going to take forever, but, you know, here we are.
I remember distinctly this one girl of the mentor team, she was a senior, and she was walking us around. She's like, these 4 years are going to fly fast, and I looked at it, and I was like, oh, no, they're not.
Yeah.
And here we
are. Yeah, here we are. We're 1 month out.
Yep, not even.
Right.
Okay, so I believe that is all, so thank you for your time, Will.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.